Peace and blessings, family. It's on once again in the AM with yours truly, King Amari and Queen
Amani Amari.
in the building in the AM. We are the founder and co-founder of Uwapele Movement. Uwapele Movement is a ministry where we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. My queen and I, we are serial entrepreneurs. And we have a networking business entitled Synergetic Network Group LLC, where we are your community liaison for entrepreneurs and consumers. And we focus on helping our people to build business-based generational wealth and also building generational wealth via investing. And how we do that is by bringing on subject matter experts in those arenas to help empower you and your family to do so. So with that being said, if you'd be so kind to put your business information in the comment block, that'll be great. Okay, let us know where you're tuning in from, what city and state you're tuning in from. That will also be great. We'll greatly appreciate it. For everybody who has subscribed to our YouTube channel, Uwapele Movement, also follow us on Instagram. We greatly appreciate that very, very much. Okay, but you know, honestly, it's more so about impacting people's lives in a positive way. This is what we more so focus on, not the subscribers or the followers, okay, the lovers or the likes, but we focus on the content. We're about helping people to transform their lives. So today's topic of discussion for the Power Couple Mental Fitness will be mindset reset. Mindset reset. Okay, what we feel is that the way that you live is influenced by the way that you think. So with that being said, it's imperative that we have healthy minds. Okay, when our mind is out of control, our life is out of control. When our mind is stable, our life is stable. Okay, it also influences our social life, how we interact with one another. It influences how we see ourselves and how we see other people as well. A mindset is so powerful to where it could even start wars, okay, or it could bring peace. And both are deriving from the mindset. We look at what has occurred throughout history as it relates to wars and as it relates to how man interacts with one another, and all of which has been influenced by a mindset. Again, I'm a retired Marine, for those who don't know. Of course, we had to learn about these various wars that had occurred, and you know, it blows my mind the things that people think, like, you know, those who commit suicide, like the suicide bombers, you know, thinking that, you know, their God is going to reward them for their heroism, right? And then you have situations like what happened to us during slavery, and also what happened to the Ashkenazis during the time of Hitler. Okay, but then you have a positive side of the house when you have people like the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. All of those who stood up for justice, even if they're not African, you know, and they're of a different ethnicity, and they stood up for justice and they fought for what's right. Okay, that comes from a mindset. That comes from a mindset. Troublemakers have a mindset. Peacemakers have a mindset. So, good day, thank you. You know, so with that being said, you know, the way that we act, the way that we react, the way that we interact, all is deriving from the mindset. Listen, I look at the mindset like a closed fist. Okay, if you're closed-minded, just like a closed fist, you won't be able to receive. Okay, but if you open up the fist, you put your fist in a position of an open hand, and now that you have an open hand, now you can receive. That being said, a closed mind will keep you from being able to grow in what you know. And when people lack knowledge in certain areas, I do subscribe to the verse that says, because of the lack of knowledge, people perish. Okay, So when you're closed-minded, you're not open to learn. And if you're not open to learn, then you can't grow. Okay? So learning is just one step to growth. And let me be clear on that, because you can learn something, but if you don't implement what you learn, that can transform your life will still remain the same. And nothing will happen differently, because you haven't applied what you have been taught. So we have to be open-minded when we hear information. I'm not saying you have to be receptive to everything that you hear. What I am encouraging you to do is to know the whole matter before you come to a conclusion. I have been in a position where I was closed-minded about certain things. However, the information that we know as the truth seeped into my consciousness, okay, and began to deal with the lies that I was taught, okay? And because of the lies that I was following, I had error in my ways. You understand? The things that I had subscribed to, it caused me to function dysfunctionally, because I had given myself over at one point in my life to a riotous spirit. Okay, and so because of the way I thought at the time, instead of me being a peacemaker, I was a troublemaker. I was causing the hell that we were living in our neighborhoods, rather than establishing heaven on earth. I was causing hell on earth because I was the problem. Now, why was I the problem? I was the problem because of the way that I thought. Okay, what manner of spirit that I was in. And I did not know what manner of spirit I was in. And that within itself was dangerous, because I didn't even recognize, you know, the problems that I was causing. In fact, I would go so far to say this shamefully, that I didn't even care at that time in my life. Okay, and so spiritually, I was awakened. Okay, spiritually, I was awakened. Let me tell you, I was so lost. I was so under the spell, to where even when my friends were getting murdered, it still didn't inspire me for me to leave that life alone. You understand what I'm saying? It really didn't. I was still hanging around the same people. I almost got shot a couple times hanging around those same people. Still didn't stop hanging around those same people. See, you know what I'm saying? I was living the life of a fool, and the way of a fool is hard. And it's because of the way that I was thinking. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted a bad reputation, meaning that I want people to know that I wasn't the one to be messing with. So unfortunately, I was seeking for the wrong things in life, because I had the wrong mindset. And because I had the wrong mindset, I did wrong. And I was going in the wrong direction, and I was going to end up at the wrong destination, because that really wasn't the destination where my life was supposed to end up at. But because of the choices that I made, I was on the path of destruction, and I was on the path to death instead of the path to life. So what happened was my mindset transformed. And because my mindset transformed, now my life started going in the right direction. Once I relinquished those mindsets that I had, and notice I said mindsets, because there's different mentalities you can have in certain areas as well. So we're dealing with numerous mindsets. There's multiple mindsets. There's mindsets about what a man and woman role is. There's mindsets about what's right and wrong. You know, there's mindsets about what we should or what we shouldn't do. Okay, and as I said before, your mindset can set you up to go up, or your mindset can cause your life to go down. Your mindset can cause you to multiply, or your mindset can cause subtraction in your life. It can start taking away because of the way that you think. You understand? So it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. You know, what is your mind set on? What is your mindset set on? What do you focus on the most? Because understand, the law of attraction is real. What are you meditating on? What is your mind on when you wake up in the morning, throughout the day, before you go to bed at night? What are you dreaming about? Where is your mind at? Where is your mind at? Really take this seriously and really think about this. Because understand that even poverty is a mindset. Because you can actually attract poverty in your life by the way that you think as well. Now, I'm not saying that just because you think on wealth all the time that it's just going to know. You got to do something, you know what I'm saying, for it to manifest in your life as well. Okay, because my queen and I, we sat down and we were thinking of some ways how we can bring in passive income. Okay, the thought came to us. We had a business at hand. Okay, then we recognized, okay, we got to put in the work. We got to do the marketing. You know, we have to brand the business. You know, we have to do pay advertisements. There's things that we had to do in order for what we had seen in the spiritual realm. There's things that we had to do in order for it to manifest in the natural realm. You see what I'm saying? So the universe can bring to you a thought to be able to help you to create a product or a business that can generate the passive income. But then it's upon us to take action in regards to causing it to come into fruition. So we have a role that we have to play too. Now, why am I talking about this? Why am I saying what this has to do with mindset? Because some people just have this name it and claim it thing. You understand? Some people think that if I just name it and claim it, that's it. If I just pray on it and touch it, that's it. You understand what I'm saying? But there are things that we have to do. You know, we have to, and this was I like to say, you know, we have to take action in order for the universe to give us a reaction. We have to take action in order for the universe to give us a reaction. In other words, the seed will be given to the sower, but the one who has the seed has to sow the seed, has to till the ground. They have to put in the work, and notice the universe brings out the sun. The universe brings out the rain. You know, the universe does its part, but we have to do our part in order for it to manifest itself. You understand? So a lot of times we say we desire things in our lives. We desire to be married. We desire to, you know, to be in a relationship. But here's the question. What are you doing in order to position yourself for you to be prepared for you to get married? Because many people say, oh, I want to get married. I'm ready to get married. Are you really ready to get married? Are you truly ready to get married?
I ain't ready.
Because if you have a single mindset and you don't want to be accountable to someone, then you're not ready to get married. Where are you at financially? Where are you at spiritually? Are you over that past relationship? Because if you bring it into the present relationship, then that past relationship is going to cause problems in your present relationship because you're not over the things that happened in your past relationship. So are you really ready to get married? So see, what happens is a lot of us, we feel like we're ready because, well, I got my finances together. I have my credit together, you know, but it's more to it than that. It's more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? It's more to it than having your finances together. It's more to it than having your credit together. You understand? It's more to it than you being independent, because the question is, how independent are you? Are you so independent to where you feel like you can do what you want when you want to and you don't have to answer nobody? Are you that independent? Because see, now if you're that independent, then you're going to remain single. Because in order for you to be a person that's prepared to be married, you have to have a team mindset. So, you know, we have to really start focusing on, you know, our minds, man. One thing I've learned is, and the reason why I focus so much on the mind is because a lot of issues that we have in life and in society on a global scale is deriving from the mindset. A lot of the chaos we see in this world, you know, is deriving from a mindset. You understand what I'm saying? You know, criminal activity, racism, prejudice, okay? Communism, right? You have gang wars going on. Why are all these things happening? What's going on? What's the problem? Think about that.
Grand rising, everyone. And I just want to piggyback on what my king was saying in regards to mindset. You know, especially these days and times since the internet has come about, there are different things and different media outlets, different concepts and things like that that we're taking on that's totally changing our mindset. In some instances, you would believe that people are living in alternate universes, meaning the way they see the world is not the way that you should see the world versus the way the world really is in some situations. And as my king was stating, we have to be very careful about what we bring in our world. And our world is our mind, it's our universe, it's our kingdom. It's that thing that we rule over. It's that thing that rules us. And as we begin to consume things and bring things in our world, it begins to shape in us, our outlook, the way we treat our children, the way we treat our spouses, the way we treat our parents, the way we treat our belongings. You see, one way that I kind of counter a lot of the things and the mindsets of the universe is I have a tendency to try to, at times, line up with morality. There is a universal moral compass that's out there in the universe that lines us all out because, like I said, there's a whole lot of things that we can take part in. There's a whole lot of ideology and religiosity and a whole lot of things that we can take part in. But I found that when you align morally, the universe just seems to work in your behalf. When it says, like he says, so you shall reap, a universal principle, it works. You know, when it says give and it shall be given, a universal principle, it works. And so our mindset, again, is extremely important. Even when we're raising our children, you know, even when we're speaking to others. In regards to the children, what are you putting in your child's mind? You know, are you sowing hate seeds? Are you sowing doubt? Are you sowing fear? Are you sowing dysfunction? You see, I had an issue with one other post we did. It was so heavy in my spirit. And we talk about our children and how we get out in society and the way we act. And, oh, these children, they just are rogue and they're doing what they want to do and all this and that. But in some cases, I beg to differ. It started at the house. What did the parents put in that child's mind? What was going on in the house? Was it abuse? Was it a molestation? Was it belittlement? How did you shape this child before you send it out into the world to live a normal life? So we can't blame everything on what the people on the outside did. We need to check and see what's going on the inside of the house. And I'm talking about the physical house. And I'm also talking about the mental house. You know, sometimes it's what we did in the house that caused us these issues.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And then Grand Rising Queen Vivian, thank you so much for tuning in. And then we got to think about, why do our men look at our women as just play toys? We call each other player, right? Players do what? Play games, right? And what do we say when a brother is talking to a sister? Oh, he got game, right? Right? So why do we look at each other the way we do? Why do women think that all men are dogs? Why do a lot of our men just look at our women as play toys and don't have a mindset to settle down and to build a family? Where is the respect that for our elders? Why is it that we think that we're not accountable to one another because we're grown? Well, I'm grown. I'm an adult. You don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me how to act. You don't tell me how to think. We may be adults in age, but a lot of us are not adults in our mindset. And see, adult actually means one who's mature. the adult male and the adult females, one is called man, the other one is called woman. And that is to say that you are a developed female and that you are a developed male. All right, so it takes a mature mindset to be able to deal with life and to be able to deal with the adversities even of life. How do we deal with disagreements? Why do some of us get so angry when we have certain dialogues? I've seen people literally fighting mad over certain topics of discussion, like literally ready to go to blows. Ready to go to blows over certain subject matters. Some of us we're mad when we should be sad about certain mindsets that people have. I'm not upset because a sister feel like all men are dogs. The question is, why do she feel that way? A lot of our sisters have been raped. A lot of our sisters have been molested. A lot of our sisters have been ill-treated. So we have to get to the root of the reason why a person thinks the way that they think. Some men have been molested. Some men have been mistreated. Some men have been abandoned by their mothers. Some of our women have been abandoned by their fathers. So, you know, some of us, we have ill feelings towards the opposite sex because of the tragic things that we have experienced in our lives. And one thing we must do is we must deal with the truth. Even when we cannot bear it, we must face the truth. We got to look into the mirror of truth about the social ills that have been plaguing us for centuries. And we have to deal with these things. We have to deal with what's going on internally that's causing the external problems. Because until we lay the axe to the root of these issues that we have that's been plaguing us for so long, we're going to continue to experience these things because the truth of the matter, we're not being truthful about the matter. And so we have to engage in these healthy type of conversations like that that's going to nurse us into health. Nurse us back to health. And I say back to health. Some may say, well, brother, we've never been healthy. Well, that's not true. Prior to the disruption of our lifestyle due to colonization, our families were whole. We understood the village concept. We understood that it takes a village to raise a child, and we won't tell somebody, don't be talking to my child and don't be touching my child, and don't, you understand? So I understand that today some people, they're not mentally there in order for them to be able to discipline your child, because some people are not there mentally to be able to do so. So I get it. My point I'm making is this right here, is that we have to reconnect with the mindset that we had prior to us being cut off, with the mindset that we had that helped us to be able to have a healthy social life with one another. I'm your brother. If I'm doing something wrong, please tell me that I'm wrong. Please tell me that I'm wrong. And I'm very serious about this. Don't go along thinking, well, you know, that's just his life, and you know, that's just what he do, and he have a right to choose. That's right. That's absolutely correct. However, if I'm going down the wrong way street, right, and I'm going in the wrong direction and I didn't see the one-way sign, I would pray and hope that you would tell me, hey, brother, you're going down the wrong way. You're going down the wrong way. Why? Because I'll end up in a chaotic situation to the point where it could cause serious bodily harm to myself and somebody else, and even cost me my life or somebody else's life. So we have to let each other know when these mindsets are germinating throughout our community, that these mindsets are toxic and it's poisoning us and it's killing us. Okay, it's literally suffocating us. The lies are literally suffocating us. The lies are literally taking the breath, taking the life out of our communities, family. And what I was shown is the overlook of spiritual health. The mind, the psyche, the mind, the spirit, the inner man. Because a lot of us have not been introduced to pure, if you will, spiritual teachings that's going to empower us mentally, and that's going to put us in a place of mental stability to where we can function properly again, and to where it can remove the dysfunctional social lives that we have with one another. This is about humanity overall, because spiritual teaching is not restricted to a skin pigmentation or a specific sect of people. All right, moral principles should be taught in every household, in every human being's household. Morality, good character, being a person of peace and love, and spreading love and joy and peace and goodness in this earth. Peace on earth, goodwill towards all men. And the reason why I say this is because of what's being taught in households as it relates to the view that one has of somebody else that's of a different skin color or of a different ethnicity, and how one should treat that individual all because of them being not like them. This is deriving from a mindset. How we perceive a thing does matter, because as I aforementioned, historically, the mindsets of what happened to the Ashkenazis during the Holocaust, you know, what happened to our people during colonization, the Atlantic slave trade, and, you know, communist countries where the people can't even have a voice. It's all about what the government say, and they have no say. It's just their way. Or they hit the highway. Or if they speak out, they're incarcerated for speaking out against the atrocities that's happening and the injustices that's happening. So it's so critical that we began to unlearn the miseducated things that we have learned. This is going to play a critical role in the reformation of our nation. We have to have a transformed mind. We have to deal with these issues. And some people have to understand, when you acknowledge a problem as not being negative, some people have that mindset that when you tell the truth about something, you're being negative or you're sowing discord. There is no way possible that we can have the civil liberties and the human liberties that we have today had it not been for our ancestors standing up and fighting against the injustices that was happening. If they would have kept silent, and they would have said, oh, well, it's okay, I'm not going to say anything, it's all right, then we wouldn't be where we are today. Guess what? If my grandmother wouldn't have told me, Alton, and that's my government name for those who don't know, Alton, son, you need to manage your time better. My grandmother told me this, and I'll never forget. One day, I didn't do what I was supposed to do to make sure that everything was together, and I ended up missing the school bus, and I wasn't managing my resources properly, and she held me accountable, and I had to walk to school. And listen, my school was all the way on the other side of the city, and she told me, you better not be late. My grandmother helped me to shift my mindset. My grandmother helped me to be a responsible young man, which transferred into my adulthood with me from my adolescent years, because I was taught to have a better mindset than what I had at that time. Now, had that issue not been addressed, I would have still been an irresponsible adult, because in my adolescent years, if no one addressed those issues, then I would still be in that same manner of spirit, and my life would be difficult because of me being immature in my thinking. Some of us have a sense of entitlement. Some of us think that because some of us are of the same ethnicity, because we're relatives, that we're supposed to just give, all because on the strength of that you're my family. No, family, there is an area of responsibility that you have to take as well upon yourself. And what it's our job to help you in your time of need. However, if you keep putting yourself in a chaotic situation, that means that you have to change your mindset. And it's your mindset that has gotten you into the chaotic situations that you are in. But some of us will get upset with our brothers and our sisters or our family members that withhold helping us because we keep putting ourselves in those same positions. And it's all because of us being irresponsible. And our irresponsible selves come from our immature mindsets. So what you need to do is to grow up. Then you'll see your life blow up. But see, the reason why your life is not blowing up, because you're immature and you're not being responsible with the resources that has been given to you. And you have not learned how to multiply the resources that has been given to you. You have not invested in yourself. But some of us, we look for help from those who are well off from the community, okay, to just come back and to save everybody. But it is not our responsibility to save everybody. It's our responsibility to assist you so you can learn how to assist yourself and your families. It is not our job to take you completely out of the situation you are in. Why? Because the universe designed it for you to be able to get up, get out, and get something, for you to do something. So the universe has brought the information to you, but now it's up to you to implement the information so it could bring about transformation in your life. But many of us, we don't like to deal with the responsibility of ourselves. We like to put our responsibility on someone else like a child. And that is childish. That is childish. When you are old enough and have the wherewithal for you to get up and get out and get something, and you have the same time in the day as the person that's successful, but yet you want to get upset with the person that doesn't continuously keep coming out of their pocket to help you out when you're being irresponsible with the resources that you have. And so a lot of times we have issues in our engagement with one another because of our immature mentalities. And it is imperative that we rid ourselves of these toxic mindsets, thinking that on the strength of what somebody looks like, that we're supposed to just come and save you. No, I'm going to teach you what you need to do, dear brother and sister, and you need to put in the work to make it work for you and yours. But this is the mindset that we have. We have this savior complex. And we need to get rid of that. And yes, we are one another's responsibility. Yes, we are to a degree, because we all have individual households and we are all responsible for our individual households. And we take that mindset to the extreme sometimes. We take that mindset to the extreme sometimes. It is your responsibility to get up and go work and put in the work so things will work out for you and your family. It is my responsibility as your brother and your sister to share the information with you that will help you to be wealthy, to help you to accumulate wealth, just like it's helping my family and I for us to build wealth. But we are all individually responsibility for our own households. Understand that. So we have to grow up. So then we can go up. Once we grow up, then we can go up. But we have to get that understanding. It is our job for us to seek so we can find. It is our job. So if you want to reap the fruit, then you need to labor. That's just the bottom line. But a lot of us want to continuously reap where we have not sowed. And it doesn't work like that. Some people receive an inheritance. And some of us, guess what, have to work so others can receive an inheritance so that it won't continue to be generational poverty continually being passed down. And poverty is not only the lack of wealth, family. Some of us are spiritually impoverished. Some of us are spiritually malnutritioned. We don't have the right information in our spiritual diet that will cause us to be nursed to health. And these mindsets that we have, what I'm beginning to recognize is that, one must understand too that, some people, if they've been following after something ever since they were a child, how can you expect for them to just relinquish everything that they've learned up to the point that they've met you and you bring them some truth and they're automatically supposed to just lay down everything they just learned because of what you just said? And then some of us, we get online and we start beating up our brothers. We start beating up our sisters. We start calling them all type of names and calling them dumb and calling them stupid and calling them ignorant and, proclaim that, oh, they just don't want to learn. They just don't want to listen, family. You got to understand. If you really understood, some of us say we understand, but we really don't understand, because if we really understood, then we wouldn't be so harsh with our brother and our sister. We wouldn't handle them so carelessly. A mindset is not easy to be broken when that's all you know and that's all you've been taught. And then we ask questions, well, how can they just believe it? How can they just follow after this? How could you follow after those things before you came into the knowledge of what you know? You got to understand they were raised in that atmosphere. So what we must do, those of us who have become atmosphere changers and those of us who have changed the atmosphere of poverty and the atmosphere of ignorance and generational poverty and generational ignorance, what we must do is come on here and share these things in a spirit of love and teach people in the spirit of love. Because what I understand is, and what I began to understand is, you got to remember who reared some of these people up. Who was their teachers? Who did they learn from? Why do they think this way? Why, you have some call all, a whole ethnic group devils, why do they think that way? Where did they get that from? What makes them say the things that they say? What makes them tick the way that they tick? You have some people get mad with spiritual people because spiritual people like myself, we don't follow after that type of mindset, because I understand it's not about the skin, it's what's within. It's about the matter of the heart. And once we start understanding that, I guarantee you that things will transform in our society for the better. And I'm talking about holistically, globally. If we start looking at what's within, if man starts dealing with their corrupt heart, if we start doing brain surgery and heart surgery, on ourselves spiritually, then we'll see transformation start happening. But until we face the reality that we need to change, you understand? It's just like a person that's on drugs, a person that's an alcoholic. Until they confess that they have a problem, okay, they're never going to seek help because they don't feel like they have a problem. So some people, they don't see that there's a problem with the way that they think, and they justify it because of the way somebody else acts. So they justify their reaction and their actions on somebody else's actions and say, well, they do this. And some people don't recognize we sound like little children. Well, he started first. Well, she did that first. And it's because of us having the wrong mindset. I'm not going to spread hate because somebody else has hate in their heart. Well, they say it to me, I'm going to say it to them. Well, if they do it to me, I'm going to do it to them. It depends on the situation. If somebody's trying to hurt you, then yes, you need to defend yourself. But if you go out there and hurt innocent people because they hurt those of us who are innocent, you know what I'm saying? Then what you have done now, you render evil for evil. And you don't render evil for evil. You overcome evil with good. You can't overcome hate with hate. And see, that's what is coming to me. We have to mature in our mindsets. We have to become spiritually grounded. And there's too much chaos going on in the midst of us because we have chaotic mindsets. And those chaotic mindsets has created the chaos that we're living in on a global scale amongst humanity holistically. Until man starts going within, until man starts looking at themselves individually, then we're going to see what's going to happen when we start interacting with one another in the public. Until we start dealing with ourselves in the private, we're going to continue to see chaos happen in the public because people continue to run away from dealing with their internal problems. And the reason why these things keep blowing up and it's like an atomic bomb when we come together is because we don't have it together, but yet we're trying to come together. If your life is falling apart, then how can you expect you to come together with somebody else and unite and it become a wholesome relationship, a wholesome marriage? If brothers and sisters, if our lives are in shambles, how can we expect for us to come together and it be together when our lives are falling apart? You can't bring something together when you're not together. And this is something that we overlook, and this is the type of teaching people run away from because it requires for us to really face the truth about ourselves and to go into the inner parts and say, I'm the problem. I'm the one with the problem. But we want to continue to dump off our problems on somebody else. Now, listen, some of us may have problems as a result of what somebody else has done to us. Yes, I'm not neglecting that. I'm not overlooking that. But here's the question. The question still stands. What are you going to do to heal thyself? What are you going to do to heal yourself from the trauma that you suffered from your adolescent years, even into your adult years? What are you going to do to heal yourself from the trauma that has been passed down from centuries to centuries due to slavery? What are you going to do about it? I'm telling you what the answer is. The answer is spirituality. The answer is you going on the inside and you getting rid of those toxic emotions and feelings that you have and deal with those things. Not to say you shouldn't be angry, not to say you shouldn't feel the way that you feel. I would never, ever irresponsibly tell you anything, such thing like that. What I am telling you is that those emotions and those feelings, though, they will continue to control your life. And you will not have any peace inside of you until you find peace with your problems. Until those problems are resolved, you will continue to go through this vicious cycle in your life. And it will be, unfortunately, a painful revolving door. And you continue to revisit those traumatic problems that you have because you haven't dealt with those things. So society is looking for the answer. But I promise you, family, spiritual family, I promise you that the answer is exactly what I just said. This will solve our problems. I don't really feel like nobody could debunk if all humanity lived by moral principles, then we will not have this chaos that we have on a global scale. You wouldn't have these rapes, you wouldn't have murders, you wouldn't have money-hungry rich people just doing whatever they want to do and forgetting about the poor. You would not have these issues in society if man had a right heart. That means that they would do right. If they had the right heart, they would have the right mindset, they would do the right thing. The people rejoice when there's a righteous person that rules over them. But the people mourn when the wicked rule over them. Because the wicked, they're tyrants and they rule with an iron fist. And this goes not only for people in government, but people who proclaim themselves to be spiritual teachers. People who use and abuse people, okay? These things would not occur if people were in the right spirit. So I love you. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hanging in there. And again, today's topic of discussion was the importance of a mindset. Well, not really the importance, excuse me. It was actually a mindset reset on today. Okay, so again, mindset reset is what we spoke about on today. I just highly encourage you to be honest with yourself, as I have been with my own self, dealing with my own problems and confronting them and dealing with them. Okay, you know, deal with your mindset, because remember, you live the way you think. You live the way that you think. That is unavoidable. Everybody lives the way that they think, from the wealthy to the poor. All right? For those who live victorious lives and those who live a defeated life. Look at the way that you think. Have a blessed week. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Have a blessed one.